Hi, I'm Paul Scrabo. This month, right now it's April 2025, the Aero Theater in Santa Monica will be hosting a special memorial, a special tribute day to Michael Schlesinger, who was a film producer, film fan, and a filmmaker. And I had the privilege of working with Michael and the equally talented Mark Avanier on the Criterion Blu-ray of It's a Mad, 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 Mad World. I'm going to present now some footage from 2011 of Michael hosting a Mad World showing at the Egyptian Theater in Los Angeles, and as a little companion tribute to him. Now, Michael did an excellent job hosting this presentation. He was with Kat Kramer, Marvin Kaplan, and Barrie Chase. Now, I left in a little drama of that evening to show how professional Michael was. When the 70mm reels arrived for that Egyptian showing, it was discovered that reel 5 was missing. But Michael put the audience at ease, calmed everybody down, had a few laughs, while the theater people were running to the lab to see if they could find reel 5, and they did. And it was a very successful evening. So here's the footage. I hope you enjoy it. Sorry it's a bit shaky, but thanks for watching anyway.
Well, let's see if you still feel that way in a minute.
Oh no.
I apologize for the delay. This is not the way we wanted the evening to go, but we wanted to make sure what happened, what really happened before I came and told you this. With great horror, I have to tell you that the print was shipped with reel 5 missing.
It'll be shorter.
Yes, I'm thankful we can still see the humor in this. Reel 5 is the reel right before the intermission, for those of you who know the picture. If any of you don't want to stay, we will happily refund your money. I hope you will stay and, bear it up, but this is just one of life's little tragedies that happens now and then. There's nothing anybody could have done. And again, we apologize. But no spoilers. I'm sorry? Well, that would be a good idea if, in fact, there was a DVD in the house and we don't want to delay the show any longer.
Well, someone should go get one during reels 1 through 4.
Sorry, what? Well, that's a thought. I'll suggest it. Does everybody here have a DVD that's willing to volunteer and go get it? I'll give you 2 free passes. Nobody? Okay. Actually, the DVD is not the worst idea in the world. As soon as we get the picture underway, I will see if maybe there's some way it can be gotten.
Money buys everything.
Call them and they'll bring it.
Okay, perhaps. Okay,
Blockbuster.
like.
On the Laker game.
All right. Yes, we can play DVD.
No Gibson.
No Gibson. Okay. Okay, we don't have to delay this any more than we can, actually. So, anyway, I'm going to throw out most of my prepared introduction, except to tell you that what you're going to see tonight is, 8 nights of a gorgeous, immaculate 70mm 6-track magnetic print struck in 2003 by the great John Kirk for the 40th anniversary screening in Cinerama Dome, when the picture originally opened, and it was in fact the first movie to open there. And as you can see by the screen, we have gone to great time and trouble and expense to rent 70mm anamorphic lenses so we can project it as close to the original 2.81 as ultra panavision aspect ratio as possible. I'm serious, I'm asking. So, it's still 8/9 of the greatest movie ever. How many people here have never seen the picture before?
One, two,
How many of you have never seen it in theater? Okay, well, you'll be seeing it for the first time also, because you can't really appreciate it unless you see it, in the theater with an audience. Now, I know some of you are saying, greatest movie ever? What about Lawrence of Arabia? This is what I have to say to that. Which would you rather watch? Jonathan Winters single-handedly demolishing a service station, or Sam? Yeah. Unfortunately, you're probably right.
those gorgeous blue eyes of Peter O'Toole.
Anyway, we have a couple of very special guests tonight. We're going to bring them up one at a time, and we'll try not to delay this anymore. First of all, I would like to bring up Karen Sharp Kramer, Stanley Kramer's widow, was originally going to be here tonight to say a few words, but she is sadly ill. So in her place, she has sent her daughter, one of the Kramer's best productions, a fine entertainer in her own right. Please welcome Kat Kramer.
Thank you, Michael, and wow, thank you all so much for coming. This is a great turnout as we're getting ready for the new year. And actually, we were both supposed to be here tonight, my mom and me. We were going to kind of share our anecdotes, but I'm going to be here for both of us. She's really sorry she wasn't able to be here, but I'm sure my father, if he was here now, would be laughing, because I don't think that there's ever been a real missing in any of the screenings of the film, so he is first. But I have to say that what Michael was saying about it opening the Cinerama Dome, and I was there for the big 40th anniversary in 2003, but we actually had a premiere here for another anniversary. I can't remember if it was, I think it was right before that, here at the Egyptian Theater, and it was a huge success. A lot of people from the film came, Jonathan Winters, Sid Caesar, at that time Buddy Hackett was still around. There was quite a few of them here. We turned, I think, like 200, 300 people away. It's one of those films that everybody comes up to me out of all the films that my father's made, and they all tell me that this is their all-time favorite film. And we're talking all generations. I think this is one of the few movies, when Michael said it's the greatest movie ever made, not only because it's for all ages, but I think because it doesn't take the route that so many comedies today do, where they have to resort to bathroom humor. I mean, it's clean, fun, families can see it and they can enjoy it with people, their kids, their grandchildren. Even Billy Crystal has told me it's his favorite film that got him through a lot of sad times. And there's a lot of interesting anecdotes. I don't want to be here all night because we have so many special guests in the audience, two in particular. But I will say that it is Jonathan Winters. This was his film debut. I wish he was here tonight, actually. And one of the stories, we have a great Jonathan Winters. One of the stories that's particularly funny is my father had caught him on the Jack Parr show and called him and said, "Mr. Winters, I'm making this, all-star comedy, and I'd love for you to be a part of it." And Jonathan responded, "Mr. Kramer, I don't think you want me. I mean, you don't understand. I just got out of a mental institution. I've been declared certifiably insane." And my father's response was, "Mr. Winters, there isn't an actor that I haven't worked with that isn't certifiably insane." Also, a lot of the articles about this particular screening tonight has gotten a lot of write-ups, like in the LA Weekly. They're declaring it as Jerry Lewis's finest work. Mr. Lewis is in the film, but he's only in there for like 2 minutes. It's a cameo. So please, if you haven't seen it, you're expecting a Jerry Lewis vehicle, don't be disappointed, but you will find him in there if you're looking. And that being said, I'm going to turn it over to Michael now, and thank you all so much for coming. I'm going to mention this, but I'm especially happy because Marvin Kaplan is with us tonight. And also, before you speak, before he says a few words, we have a poster here that my mom also signed. A lot of the cast members signed it. And I believe it's on auction tonight for whoever is the highest bidder, and it benefits the American Cinematheque. So please don't forget about this very rare poster that's here tonight. Thank you so much.
Before I forget, I was asked to tell you that Jonathan Winters and Robert Morris and Haskell Wexler will all be here in February, date to be determined for screening of The Loved One.
I love that.
So you'll want to be here for that. And one of the few comedians not in the picture is Jackie Gleason, but there will be a tribute to the Honeymooners here on January 7th. With Frank Lurch and some other people, so you won't want to miss that. Now, a great comedy legend, the incomparable Marvin Kaplan.
Well, like they say at the phone company, hello.
It's a good opening.
Jackie Mason in this movie. Jackie was supposed to do the part, but he showed Mr. Kramer his nightclub schedule, and Kramer fired him, and they needed a replacement quickly. I was up for a different part. I was up for the part that Doodles Weaver plays in the movie, an assistant to Edward Everett Horton, and I would have been very happy to have done that part. Now, I get the script, and it reads like a Manhattan phone book. It's very, very thick. And I called the agent, and I said, his name was Meyer Mishkin, and I said, Meyer, I almost got killed reading the script. How many of these stunts am I supposed to do? And he said, don't worry. He said, we arranged a deal where you'll do only the stunts that your partner will agree to do. And I said, who's my partner? And he said, Arnold Stang. I know Arnold's the biggest coward in the American theater. So I said, whatever Arnold says he'll do, I'll do. And then we all had it wonderful. Then they hired this man who was an ex-Marine named Jonathan Winters, who felt the actors should all do their own stunts. So Arnold and I are watching on the sidelines, praying he gets hurt. Not much hurt, but enough not to have to do the stunts. And so he injures his back. And so I looked at Arnold and said, now Arnold's stuntman was the guy who does chimps. His name was Janos Prohaska. Arnold was very thin and had no chin, God bless him, and had no shoulders worth talking about. Now this guy had huge shoulders, so they gave Arnold shoulder pads to look as good as the stuntman. They gave a stunt guy named Bill Maxwell, a very handsome, thin kid, and they kept putting padding in him, and I kept taking it out because I wanted to look thin. And it was a great, great adventure. I worked with two geniuses in my life. One was Charlie Chaplin, whom I stage managed for when I was 22 years old. And the second one is Jonathan Winters. And I had the pleasure of sharing a dressing room with him because it was 107 degrees outside, and the only air-conditioned place in the whole joint was his trailer. And so my job was really a babysitter, make sure he didn't get out of the trailer because he went crazy in the heat. And we would play games, and one of the games was, who are you today, Jonathan? And he said, today I'm the Tuesday Bear. And I said, wonderful. Now I had to be another bear, or somebody feeding the bears, or something. And this didn't go on for 5 minutes. It went on for a half hour, 45 minutes, until they were ready to shoot. So I think he had to stay in the dressing room until they were ready to shoot. Well, it was a great experience. I loved it very much. And it's a great, great movie. Now, you wonder what happened to us afterwards. Downhill after. No. Last year, I produced and wrote a script that called Watch Out for Slick. And it was selected in 9 different festivals, and we're still looking for a distributor. And last week I finished another script about reality programming and breeds, which is similar to what this story is about that you're going to see tonight. I'm very lucky to be part of history and part of this movie, and I love everyone connected with it. Thank you very much.
Of course, if Jerry Lewis were here, he'd say that Marvin worked with 3 geniuses. We have an update from Margot Gerber. They have apparently gotten hold of someone at Deluxe. They're going to rush over to open the doors. Grant is on his driving like a maniac over there, and hopefully we will get Reel 5 here in time. But remember, I said hopefully.
The Brave
Oh,
Protected
here. Grant, what's the story?
The film, it's found. The film missing. It's found right on time,
Okay,
Dad.
we have
We're talking MGM, we might get Reel 5, but maybe have to drop it very nice if the Reel 5 is there, because it was spliced out. If not, we had one of our people who had one of the advanced Blu-ray copies. He's going to get that, so Reel 5 will play off Blu-ray.
Will go to that kind of time, trouble, and expense. Okay, now, one more great guest. She danced in many classic musicals. She also acted in the original Cape Fear, and the original Flight of the Phoenix, but of course she's best known for the trio of landmark TV specials in the late 50s where she danced opposite Fred Astaire. And she was also the subject of an Alan Sherman song. Please welcome the lovely and legendary Miss Barrie Chase. Yes. I understand you haven't seen this since the premiere?
No, I've seen it on television, but a while ago. Yeah.
But as I said earlier, watching it on TV almost doesn't count.
With Reel 5.
Yes.
Amazing.
Never a dull moment. So you have very little dialogue in the picture. You were primarily there as a dancer.
I don't know what I was primarily. I had worked with Dick Shawn before in a movie called Opposite Sex, so I sort of knew what to expect from him. I had great respect for him. I think he was out of his time, actually. And anyway, so I knew what was going to go on. I had no idea what to do. None whatsoever.
Did Kramer specifically call and cast you, or was there an open call?
No. I was in Sweden at the time, getting very fat and comfortable. And I got a phone call, and it said, Stanley Kramer wants you for a film, and they want you to get on a plane tomorrow. The ticket will be there. And I thought, if it had been anybody else but Stanley Kramer, I would have said, I don't think so. But you don't say no to Stanley Kramer. So I got on a plane, and I was there. They took me off the plane to his office, sat in his office, and he said, it was his wife's idea that I do this part. Anyway, and sent me to wardrobe, because they were shooting the next day. Okay. And so I went down to wardrobe, and they said, you have to wear a bikini bathing suit. That was it. That's all I knew. So I went to wardrobe, and I thought, I picked out the black fringe because fringe moves, and I thought maybe I wouldn't look so fat in it, big with the fringe. And the next day we were shooting. And there wasn't really any instruction from, maybe there was a day in between, because I know that I ran into a friend of mine before shooting on Sunset Boulevard, and I mentioned what, he said, what are you doing, I haven't seen you in a long time. And so I told him what I was doing, and I said, I really don't know what to do. And he said, you know, why don't you light up a joint? The guy's name was Steve McQueen who told me that. And so that's what I decided to do. Not literally, acting. And I went to Mr. Kramer and told him my idea, and he said, oh, terrific, do that. That's good, okay. And then I thought, all my friends used to do that, but I didn't do it. They sort of pass it to me and I'd pass it on. I didn't have anything against it, I just didn't do it. So I thought, I don't know how to do this and do it right, you know, and look like a dilettante or something, you know. So I asked some of the guys in the crew, you know, how do I smoke this weed? And so that's how that came about, and I thought that I would probably be stoned, and therefore I wouldn't have much expression or involvement in the scene. And that's how it came about. The dancing was all improvised. Mr. Kramer said, just get up and move. You guys, just get up there and move. Okay. And so that was it. I really didn't have anything to do with the other actors and the comedians in the film. I saw them once at lunchtime. That was an amazing lunchtime. Everybody was talking at the same time and laughing at the same time. It was bizarre. But then they had the big gala. I don't know if you know about that. Mr. Kramer had invited press from all over the world for the opening of this movie. And there was an invitation which said, wear a ball gown. Well, of course, I had a closet full of ball gowns. Not one. And I went and got this ball gown. It was all sequins, and I was cinched into it because ball gowns have big skirts and with that tiny waist and everything. That movie was over 4 hours, the original movie. And I was encased in cement. I thought I would die. At intermission, I went into the ladies' room, and I thought, I have to get out of this or I will faint, for sure. Mercifully, maybe, I will faint. So this very nice, beautiful woman came over and said, can I help you? And I said, yes. How about getting me out of this? Turns out this lady was Phil Silver's wife, and she was really nice. So we got me out of it. But then we had to close it up after I got out of the waist cincher, which, if any of you ladies have ever had waist cinchers on, it makes your waist that small from that big, you know. So I didn't know how we were going to get this dress closed, and we sort of got it closed. But the gala was incredible because every comedian got up, which was at the Hilton Hotel, and performed. Each one wanting to be the best. And each one, in his own way, was the best. So that was a remarkable, unforgettable evening. Ethel got up and sang in her own Ethel Merman way. And, yes. And so that was a remarkable evening. But I had no contact, really, except Terry Thomas wanted to take me out. And he didn't take no easily. He was funny, yeah. But that's not my experience with the other actors in the film.
All right.
Got some other questions?
One or two more, because
Okay.
we could talk. I could talk like 3 hours about Fred Astaire, but we don't want to. We want to get going. You only worked with Sean in the picture on that one little set. When you were making the picture, were you aware of the vast scope of this film, or were you just surprised when you saw the picture?
I was surprised when I saw the picture. I knew that it was going to be very special because the name Stanley Kramer usually would denote something quite special. I also knew that it was an enormous cast, which I saw that day at lunch, of comedians. So I knew it was, you don't know it's going to be a cult film. You don't know it's going to last for ever and ever. You don't have any idea. I mean, that's just, that's in the fates. You know, you don't know that. But you know that you're involved in something that's unique and hopefully good.
All right. Well, hopefully you'll come back again some other time. We can talk about the rest of your career.
No.
Please. But thank you for sharing a few minutes with us. I must see you immediately in my blessing womb. Field grants off together. One final bit of business. There are few things in this industry more thankless than projecting 70 millimeter, especially reel-to-reel. One reel is about, and weighs more than I do. And there are 9 of them, 10 if you count the intermission reel. I would really like you to express your gratitude for our crack projectionist, Robert Simonton. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for being patient. We are all united by our love of this movie. We are the Brotherhood of Mad. Turn off your electronic devices, sit back, relax, and enjoy the greatest movie ever.